Hey, good morning, brothers and sisters. It's one of the New Testament greetings that Paul would always say. I love that greeting because he would address people as brothers and sisters. It has a familial dynamic to the church, and I think that is so important. All right, so here's the verse today. Seek your happiness in the Lord, and he will give you your heart's desire. We're talking about our heart, right? So this is the last verse on heart. Now, if you remember yesterday, we looked at a translation that said about our thoughts. Be careful how you think. That word is interesting because in the one translation it says thinking or thoughts, and another translation it says heart. Means that our heart is really so interconnected to our thoughts. So when we look at Psalm 37:4, seek your happiness in the Lord, he will give you your heart's desire. Now, let me just make a couple comments on this verse. First of all, we in the Christian culture, and I'm included in this, the word happiness sometimes trips us up because if you've ever heard this or you're familiar with this, like, well, happiness is one thing, but I got joy. Like, joy of the Lord is my strength. Like, happiness is fleeting. I get it. So when I read this verse in this specific translation, it was actually kind of refreshing to me because, I get the whole thing that, happiness is circumstantial, joy is different than that. I get joy as a fruit of the Spirit. I'm not trying to be disagreeable. Don't get grumpy with me. I understand that train of thought. However, with that being said, happiness is an emotion. And you know what? That emotion is from God. So there is can we just be a little loose with it and say, hey, it's great to wake up or to feel happy, right? Can we just acknowledge that? That doesn't make you less spiritual, okay? All right. Now, if you disagree with that, well, I'm sorry. All right. So seek your happiness, find some happiness in the Lord. So that's a healthy thought, right? God, I want to be happy in you. Now, let's get to the second comment, the second half of the verse that I want to talk about. And he will give you your heart's desire. Now, this is really critical to understand because oftentimes people will translate this verse as to say, oh, great. I'll just be happy in God and he'll give me what I want. This is like a vending machine verse. Oh, great. I'll be happy in you, and then I hit the button, and then you give me whatever I want. I want C4. I want D6. I got stuck in the machine. Right? Okay. So that's not what this verse means. You can't just hit the button and you get C4 or D6. All right? What actually happens is when you seek your happiness in God, God takes your finger and he moves your finger to the specific button so that the desire he has for you becomes your desire. See what I'm saying? So you don't go to C4 or D6. You go to A4 or B7 because he begins to align and gives you the desire that he has for you as you seek your happiness in him. And this isn't a kind of a controlling thing, by the way. This isn't like God trying to control you. This is you finding happiness, true happiness. And the NIV version would say, delighting yourself in God. Your delightment becomes, your desire is found in your delightment of the Lord. Does that make sense? All right. So with that today, here's what I want to challenge you to do. I want you to be happy in the Lord. And you're like, well, how do I do that? I don't hear a lot of pastors talking about that. Okay, well, here's how you do that. Find something that you enjoy and then just invite God into that and say, God, I really like to write, or I love to take a walk with my child, or I like to, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. You know what you enjoy, okay? I love to sit down and have just a nice cup of coffee, and I'm going to carve out some time. And then you just say, God, I want to be happy in this moment with you. And really shift your focus, your thoughts, your heart to say, God, more than just this space or this activity, I want to do this not only with you, but I want to find my happiness in you. And I think what will begin to happen as we make this a practice in our life, as we take Psalm 37:4, then He will begin to implant His desires in a very powerful and hopefully transformative way. All right, listen, I love you. This is a verse that means a lot to me, and I hope it will continue to grow you. I'll see you tomorrow on The Daily Dose.